Alright everyone, it's Seth Dark Arts, and I'm back once again with the 10th video. And it's time for all of you to take your power back. If you lost your power, it's time for you to get it back. And this applies to everyone who's watching this video and whoever's going to come into this video at a later date. I'll say it again. If you lost your power, it's time to get it back. That's right. Now, I wrote down on my YouTube page, I wrote something down, and I believe it's on my account, but I'm just going to read it because this came to me one night in one of my journeys, and it popped in my head as a thought form, and I basically wrote down, read it to you right now. I wrote, as of right now, each of us are walking around with the most powerful source of known energy in the universe, which is our own minds or consciousness. Why should we limit it with such trivial things such as race, nationality, religion, science, politics, and all the rest? Why have such an infinite source of power only to create a limited perceived reality? An unlimited mind is the source of unlimited power. Now, excuse me, let's talk about that. An unlimited mind is the source of unlimited power. Basically, in the previous 9 videos, that was just sort of a warm-up to let people get to know me, experiences I've been through, at least some of them anyway, a few minor ones, some of the experience that I've had the joy of going through on my journey, and just to kind of prepare people for more of what's to come. And I think by now you pretty much have a kind of idea of me and the things I like to talk about. But I think now it's time to jumpstart this and take it to another level. Why? Because, yeah, I could sit here all day and I could talk about my experiences and things that happened to me, but I'm more interested in helping you and whoever else is going to watch this video and trying to help you have your own experiences so that you can share them with others who are around you. You could share them with me. That would be nice. But if you don't share them with me, that's all right, and that's fine. But at least have them for yourself, and it can help you on your own journey, subjectively and objectively. Now, basically, what I would like to do is, I said in my last video I was probably going to go into speak about the different forms that people take when they go out of body. Now, the thing with going out of body is this. I watch a lot of people's YouTube videos just to see what's going on in the other streams because we're all learning. Even me, I'm learning also. And I've noticed that many people are focused. It seems that most of their focus is really going towards going out of body, but through a dream state. And of course, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I've just noticed that a lot of energy has been going in that direction. People post a lot of comments saying things like, yeah, I've been laying on the bed, I had the sleep paralysis going, but I can't get out of body. And I just want to bring this attention to everybody. Going out of body, having an out of body experience, or entering another reality, or any of these things like that, it's not only from the dream state. A lot of people have this idea that it only can happen from the dream state. No. Yes, the dream state is one of the ways you can go out of body, but you don't necessarily just need to focus on the dream state. You can also go out of body during the daytime or nighttime, anytime that you're consciously awake, but you do this through a deep meditative trance state. So you have to induce a medium trance in whichever way that works for you, and from that state you can project yourself into other realms of reality. So yeah, I would like to first just briefly touch on different forms. I've come across 3 forms actually, and basically the first form is when you hear experiences of people who go out of body and they see themselves lying on the bed or sitting in a chair. That would be the first form. That's form 1. So you come out of your body and you can turn around and see your physical body still sitting in the chair or lying in the bed. Form 2, the second form, is you come out of body. You don't see your physical body, but you are aware that it's there. You're aware that the physical body is there. You could feel its presence. You know it's there, but you cannot see it. So that's the second form. The third form, oh, should I think? Third form, the third form that in the out of body state, what happens is you go out of body, but you're not aware of your physical body at all. And this completely takes you into a completely different reality. See, the first two forms, first form and second form, they usually have to deal with realities that are kind of based around physical earth, meaning, or physical reality. You will go into them, and they will be alternate realities, but they will always be based on things that you see in physical reality. So there will be buildings or cars or even strange entities, but they'll appear to have physical bodies, and things will still kind of be based on a physical reality system. Now, the third form, this is where it gets interesting. Now, I have to be honest, I've been in this form, I believe, I would say 2 times, but definitely 1 time. Definitely 1 time. The first time it happened to me, I induced a deep trance state, and I went out of body, and it took me to, at first I saw a jungle, and I know that's in physical reality, it was a jungle, but from that point, a lot of things started happening. I was kind of overhead, bird's eye view. I was looking down at a jungle, I seen a waterfall, and I was taking it all in, and I didn't want to get too excited to break the trance state that I had, but it was very interesting. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, where's this place, man? This is great. You know, I see a jungle, there's trees, you know, I hear animal sound like birds and stuff. But yeah, it was really good thing. And from there, that's when it just twisted. And this is why I'm connecting it to the third form, which has realities based outside of physical reality. And when I say outside physical reality, this could possibly mean deep into other portions of the solar system, or areas that just have nothing in connection with physical reality. Now, what happened was I was looking at the jungle, and the jungle it was a jungle. You know, there was water flowing, had all this stuff going down. And at some point, it turned into a sexual thing. Yes, that's right, folks, sex. Sex does happen in the astral. If you didn't know that, now you know. Sexual encounters do happen. So this turned into a sexual thing while I was with this one woman, and you know, we were making love, doing our thing, and it started to get weird because it went from one woman to 2 women, and I thought, wow, now this is deep. And I know most of the men out there are probably going, yeah, man, 2 women, you know, yeah, I was down for it too, but what basically happened was, as we were in the act of I was in the act of making love to this woman, she kind of split into 2 women and then 3 women. I think by the end of it was like 4 women, but it was kind of like a hologram of each one, but they were slightly different women. And the act of the sexual encounter actually turned to something that was completely just strange, where, yes, I was aware and I could feel everything as if I was actually there. I mean, I was there. I was literally there. But it went from me being a physical person making love to these 4 beautiful women to not necessarily me being my physical body. It turned into more of like, this is hard to explain. You know, when you cross over into this third body form, you enter emotions and intensities of energy that they're so complicated. There's no words to even describe them. And yeah, so what happened was I was not my physical body making love to these four women, but I was simply just an energy form. It was just energy. And I can't, like I said, I mean, I can't really even explain what happened, not because of it being graphic, but the fact of the experience was beyond this reality. I was literally just energy interacting or making love, what seemed to me as making love, but with another type of energy in the appearance of four women, which at some point, the whole feeling of just having a physical body just completely vanished, and I was just pure energy. And I thought, this is deep. And I remember trying not to panic because it was starting to overwhelm me, this experience. Not the fact of making love to the four women, but really on the idea that my physical body was just completely unaware of the physical system, and I was just pure, pure energy. And I remember at some point, I tried to keep my focus, and I stood up and walked out into the kitchen because I was sitting on the floor at that time. And I went into the kitchen, and at this point, it was so powerful. I mean, if you go to my Facebook page, I probably wrote about this, where I wrote in one of my articles entitled, I think it's Entering Another Reality as a God and Not Going Insane. And I probably left out some of the sexual stuff, but now you got it. But yeah, basically, I was in this other reality, and I stood up and walked out into the kitchen. Once I was able to kind of pull back and get my physical senses organized. When I stepped out to the kitchen was space. It was literally, I was in space. I was in the middle of space, and I remember walking, but I couldn't feel my feet as if I was walking. I was literally just a floating awareness of energy or consciousness. And at that point, my inner self kicked in, and the voice came to me. And he said, listen, this is exactly what he said. He basically said, look, I'm here, don't panic. Control the experience, don't let it control you. And what he meant by that basically was, don't get so overwhelmed by it that I end up having a panic attack or a heart attack or something, because it was really powerful. And yeah, he was just encouraging me, and he said, look, this is just one stage of development that you have to experience, and I can't help you. You have to go through this on your own. However, he said, or it said, if you do run into any trouble where you are unable to control it, and I see that you're slipping, in the danger zone, that he would basically come and bail me out and support me. So I was walking, well, I thought I was walking in this kitchen, and I was literally in space, man. It was like deep space, and yeah, I remember I was watching planets being formed, and it was a kind of, there was a type of play acting out, basically, and what I was witnessing was the creation of, I'm not going to say the universe, but a creation of a universe that was going down. And I was taking part of it, and I was in it. And basically, from that point, I started to use well, it wasn't my physical hands, I guess you could call it my astral hands. And I was kind of guiding the different elements, and it was just all these different things that there was nothing in connection to the physical world as far as machines or cars, but it was more of just pure energy. And as I was manipulating this energy, it was forming different universes and stars and just parts of the universe. And it was a very deep and profound experience that I will never forget. And I have to say, it was probably one of the most powerful experiences out of that I've ever had. I mean, it was extremely powerful, that because it was completely different from all the other ones I had. So I would call that going out of body in the third form, because I completely, well, not one, not well, yeah, I did. In the beginning, I was aware of my body, but going on deep into the process, I was completely unaware of my physical body. And I was just, the last thing I remember was stepping into the kitchen, and from that point, I was just in space, or in what perceived to be space. It was all dark, and I was literally just energy manipulating the elements in this realm. Now, the second time that I've entered this reality with the third form, it was through a dream state, and I say dream state because I had went to bed. And what happened was, when I awakened and became conscious in this reality was so different that as a matter of fact, I just told a friend about it recently, and it was so powerful that I never even wrote it down. And I document everything. I document all my experiences. But this one was so outside of the box, that I didn't even bother to. I couldn't write it down. Not that I didn't want to. I couldn't write it down because I couldn't find the words to describe it. And even though I'm going to attempt to describe it to you now, even the words that I put forward won't really do it justice. And basically, I awakened in this reality where it was just information. It was waves. It was waves of energy. Just, I don't know if you can see this, huh? Uh-oh. But basically, it was just waves moving. It was moving waves like that, up and down. And there was no real talk going on. Nothing was happening. I wasn't alone. I was aware of another conscious entity that was with me, but it also did not have a physical body, and I didn't have a physical body either. I was simply just, I can't, here we go again. I can't really explain it. I was just energy again, probably similar to the first experience with the creating the universe thing. And basically, yeah, it was just bits of information. I was just pure energy once again. And I was so confused because I didn't know what was really going on. I was consciously aware, but I wasn't even aware of, like usually when I go out of body, I say, okay, I'm out of body, and my physical body is in the bed right now, or I'm in a deep trance state right now, and I'm aware of my physical body, which would be form 2. But this one was, I didn't know where I was. I knew I was somewhere. I knew I was conscious, but it was just so different that words can't even explain. Even the words I just used now to describe it to you doesn't really do any justice. Now, I'm going to jump back a little bit because I want to hit back on that second form that I was talking about, where you go out of body, you don't see the physical body, but you are aware of it. Now, I don't know if too many people have this experience, because it seems that everyone is really gunning for the first form experience of going out of body, turning around, looking at yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But from my experience, I'm just going to tell you what happened to me with the second form. And I do this quite often, is where I'm either laying on the bed or I'm sitting up in a meditation position. And I go into a deep trance. And the trance is very deep. And as I'm focusing into the darkness behind my eyes, it's always the same. There's flashes of lights very dimly. Then they get brighter. Then images start to form. And then, boom, I'm in another place. Really, it is like that. I'm in another place, and I just arrived like right in the middle of it. Stuff is happening already. But as this is happening, I am completely aware of my physical body. Now, I know this sounds kind of strange to most of you if you haven't had this experience, but I'm just getting you prepared. In case you did have this type, don't worry, it's very valid. And yes, I was in this reality, and I could feel. I'm aware. I can't explain it, but you're in this other reality, but you're also completely aware of what's going on. You know you're in your room. You know where you're at, but visually and physically also, you're in another place. And I remember I appeared in this reality where I was in Japan, in an area close to where I'm at, and I was walking, and I was with this girl, and it's amazing because you just pop in, and things are just happening. So I was walking with this Japanese girl, and she said, "So what do you want to do?" And I was kind of like, huh? And we were walking, it was nighttime, and she said, "Well, do you want to go to the club or not?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I want to go to the club." So I said, "Hell yeah, I want to go. Let's go to the club, man." So we're walking to the club, and then she goes, "Oh, well, my friend just gave me some really good." So what she said, don't judge a video. She said, "My friends gave me some really good weed from somewhere. I don't know where." And this is what she said. I'm not condoning drugs, but this is what she said. She said, "My friends gave me some really good weed, and You know, she got it from, I don't know, some friends of hers. And she said, so what do you want? We can either go back to my place or we can go to the club. So she looked really good. This girl was really hot, man. So I was like, well, if I had I didn't have the option before. She just said, "Are we going to the club?" But when she said we can either go to my house or go to the club, of course I chose the latter. And I said, "Well, yeah, man. Let's go to your house and kick back and relax, you know, and who knows what it ever. All right, that's not important. But anyway, yeah, I said let's go to her house. And as we were walking toward the direction of her house, of course, boom, I got pulled back to the body. I was like, damn. And I tried to get back to that spot, so I went back into a deep meditation, and it didn't take me to her, but it took me to generally the same area, but the girl was not there. And like I said, in that last experience with the girl, it was nighttime. When I went back, I was in the same area, but it was daytime. And I remember seeing some Doberman pinchers, two of them on the sidewalk, chained up. And I said, oh, man, I like Doberman pinchers. You know, who do those dogs belong to, man? And I was trying to check them out. But once again, I was completely aware of my physical body on the bed. And I was physically in this other place walking. So, yeah, that's form 2, very deep. And, yeah, just keep an eye open for those type of things. Now, basically, I covered what I wanted to say on those two, well, on that matter of going at the different types of forms that you take now. I'm going to have to cut this video pretty soon, so I just want to touch on this. You need to start preparing, and now many people call this, there's many names for this. Some call it the Astral Temple. Some call it, well, that's a term I'm familiar with. People call it an Astral Temple, but you can call it anything you want. Basically, what it is, people who follow magic deeply, it's an astral temple. It's basically a place that you create in the astral realms through using the power of your imagination and belief and your will. And as I said before, of course, when you say imagination, people go, "Oh, well, imagination is not real, and this guy is flying on cloud 9 and all this, stuff." But I told you before, once you understand the deeper reality, the deeper nature of reality, you will understand and know that all thoughts have electromagnetic energy. So everything that you think about becomes real, if not in this reality, in another reality. And basically everything starts from thought. Everything that we have here now, from my computer I'm using to your computer, to your bed, to your car, literally everything that exists right now in this physical reality originated as a thought form in somebody's head or in somebody's mind or consciousness. And they basically had enough energy to propel that idea out and manifest it into physical reality. So when you go out of body, all the thoughts that people have had through all the different generations and times, these things manifest. And many times you are experiencing ideas or places that are not physical, but they were imagined or thought of in someone else's mind. And they basically they manifested themselves in other portions of reality. So just keep that in mind as I go into this, because I know people might think, oh man, this is like going into some occult, nonsense of creating an astral temple and all this. But basically, you need to create a place that you can get to. Now, everyone's trying to go out of body, and everyone's trying to get the lucid dream thing going and all these other areas. But you need to have a stable base first. Basically, your base of operations. You need to have a place for you to channel your energy to and to work on your skills, because this is where the practice of visualization starts coming in. And there are many things on the internet about visualization, so I'm not going to really get into that. But basically, yeah, you need to focus on your visualization skills. And, well, actually, I need to touch on it a little bit, because this connects to the outer body. This is one thing that I do when I go out of body, is basically I imagine a place with the power of imagination, and I say, okay, this is where I want to go. And I start slowly. I imagine the street that I'm on. I imagine the traffic that I'm on. So let's say if I want to imagine, just say New York, for example. So I pick a place in New York that I've been to. It doesn't have to be a place you've been to, but if you pick a place that you've been to, it manifests even quicker. I pick a place that I've been to, and I focus on it. And I start visualizing everything that is a part of that place. So example, traffic going by, people on skateboards, a girl eating ice cream, someone walking their dog. And I have all these elements going on. And once you do this once you practice this many times and you really get good at it, and if you have the talent, and everyone does, including you, what happens is it goes from imagination to it becomes an actual thing. Now, a lot of people can argue about, is this just my imagination? Is it just my mind playing tricks on me? It doesn't matter. The fact is, listen to what I just said. I visualize it first. Once I get the ball going, boom, it takes on a life of its own, and I'm literally there in this reality. Things are happening. Everything is going on about its own way. So what I said in my last video is about thoughts having electromagnetic energy. Basically, once you create a thought, just because you've created it doesn't mean you're the master of it. It goes its own way. Even if you are the master of it in that moment, the moment you leave and pull back to physical reality, those things don't disappear with you. They keep going and they go about their own lifestyle. So even if this is a scene from New York City that I have created, the moment I create it, at that moment, it takes on a life of its own and it starts going about things in its own way. So this is just one technique that I want to help you guys with. Now, back to the Astral Temple. Basically, yes, you need to create this Astral Temple, and this is going to be a place that you can go to actually kind of push your out-of-body experiences and get them going, get the ball rolling in that way, and a place to work your magic, man. You know, we all have. I haven't touched on magic, but we're all magicians also. You know, so not only are we gods, we're also magicians, and everything we do is magic. So yes, we are all gods. We're all magicians. We're all Seths. We have power. We do. And we need to start tapping into that. And this is the first thing that I want to kick off to all of you is start creating your Astral Temple. It can be anything you want. It could be in a pyramid. It can be in an apartment complex. It could be a shack in the woods. It can be a nightclub. It can be anything that the power of your thought can create. And remember, it will be a real place and it will be valid. And once you do this, this is going to be the place that you can meet up with your inner selves or your inner self. You can meet up with your ancestors. You can meet with loved ones that have passed away. You can meet with thought forms that you have created. If you want to create that demon, go ahead and create them. Hey, there's nothing wrong with demons if you believe you want to have them. But it would be nice to have a place for them to go to. And this gets much deeper later on. Because in the later stages, what I just said, I gave a hint at it a few moments ago where I said where I create this scene in New York City and then it takes on a life of its own. This is basically how all realities get started, even ours. So not only can you create an Astral Temple, you can also create and populate an entire reality inside inner reality. Yeah, man, it gets deep. This stuff goes deep. So I don't want to go into the city too much because that might be a little too much for people. That's the level I'm on right now. And basically what the city is a place you can create a city for other out-of-body travelers to go to. Because everyone needs to, there's so many stories about when you go out of body, you're going to meet this demon or you have to meet this god and they're going to charge you an entrance fee and you have to go through trials and tribulations and it's all BS, man. You don't have to go through none of that. You can have a place or we can create places where we can all meet up. And this starts falling more into the realm of shared dreams or shared out-of-body experiences, which many people have experienced. So yeah, before you get into trying to create a city, let's start small and at least try to kick off creating your own astral temple and a place for you to go to work your magic or to clear your mind or even to get away. I talked about in my other video about the inner senses. Well, this is a part of the inner senses because once you start working on those and psychological time, as I said before, 5 minutes of physical reality time could be 1 hour of inner reality time if you learn how to do it. So that could be 1 hour inside your astral temple that you can relax in or work out your problems or talk to your inner guides or inner selves or beloved ones. And you just had a 5 minute cigarette break or whatever. You could have went on a 15-minute break and you just spent a good hour in your astral temple and now you come back refreshed. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get more on this a lot more later because it probably goes a lot deeper, and it does go deeper. But I'm just kicking off the little basics for you all right now. So yeah, be strong. Don't let anyone take your power. Forget about the haters and all these other characters out there. They're gonna come telling you this is all BS. This magic stuff is BS. This out of body stuff is nonsense. Tap back into the real world. Well, look, if the real world is endless wars and working nonstop on a 9 to 5 until you drop dead, and if that's the real world, then God help us all. We need to start preparing ourselves because the true meaning of doing all these things is to prepare yourself for when you leave physical reality. I said this in my last video. You have people focusing all their attention into simply consumerism, buying things that have no value the moment it leaves the store shelf or you exchange money for it, and it won't do anything for your consciousness expansion. And people talk about get in touch with the real world. Well, you want to focus on your 401k, that's fine, but that loses value the moment you draw your last breath and you poof end up on the other side and there goes your 401k. What good is that going to do you? Now you're faced with your full-blown consciousness. You didn't spend any time trying to learn anything about consciousness, and now you're being bounced around at the speed of light through all these different realities, being chased by demons and going to hell and all this other nonsense, all because you didn't want to spend time focusing on your consciousness expanding and your multidimensionality and your inner self and your inner reality. So yes, stop the games. It's time to get serious. I'm about to kick these videos up to another notch. The first 9 was the baby steps, but it's time to get serious. As I said in the beginning, it's time to take back your power. Get it back. If anyone is standing above you, trying to hold you down, it's time for you to get off your knees and take back what's yours. And I don't mean that in a sense of, okay, let's rebel and start a revolution, but the only true revolution is a revolution of thought and a revolution of consciousness. So that's all I have to say right now. I'll get back to all of y'all later, but peace, love, and harmony as always, and yes, time to get your power back. Thank you. I'll see you all next time. Bye.